welcome back. Zach here. Yesterday, August 8th, 2016, I exposed why Donald Trump revealed his tax plan on that specific day. Today's August 9th. As I said yesterday, each Donald Trump headline is created by the laws of numerology and gematria, which are important practices, to Kabbalah, which is Jewish mysticism, which is very relevant to the Zionist Jews who control media and stage elections and rig news and deceive the masses of this world. What I'm going to show is why this is the headline and why this is the front page story for Donald Trump today, August 9th, 2016. Before we get to that, I need you to watch this news footage courtesy of CNN. It's going to show you just how relevant gematria is after we finish listening to Jake Tapper, the ultimate tool for CNN. Listen up, truth seeker. I want you to pay attention to how we're talking about assassination right here. Listen.
Just minutes ago, Trump said something that, again, has so many Democrats, so many Republicans aghast.
Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks. Although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know. But
in case you didn't get that, Mr. Trump said, quote, Hillary wants to essentially abolish the Second Amendment, that's the right to bear arms. By the way, and if she gets to pick her judges, nothing you can do, folks, although the Second Amendment people, maybe there is, I don't know, unquote. Now, is that simply an offhanded and very ill-conceived joke that he didn't mean anything by? Or was he suggesting something legislative? Or was that a suggestion, a joking suggestion even, but a suggestion that someone should try to assassinate his rival to stop her from being able to select Supreme Court judges? We're awaiting comment from the Trump campaign. We just got a statement from the Clinton campaign. Campaign manager Robbie Mook, he tells CNN, quote, this is simple. What Trump is saying is dangerous. A person seeking to be president of the United States should not suggest violence in any way. CNN's Sarah Murray is traveling with the Trump campaign. Sarah, has the Trump campaign responded to your many calls and emails seeking clarification as to what exactly he was saying?
Jake, the Trump campaign did just put out a statement, and while the Clinton campaign suggested that Trump may be inciting violence with his remarks, the Trump campaign takes a different tack with this. They seem to be suggesting that Donald Trump was just calling for Second Amendment voters to rally behind him. In a statement from their senior communications advisor, it says it's called the power of unification. Second Amendment people have amazing spirit and are tremendously unified, which gives them great political power. And this year they will be voting in record numbers, and it won't be for Hillary Clinton, it will be for Donald Trump.
Okay, so they brought up assassination, and before I watched the news, I'd already decoded the headline, because there's always relevant gematria in the headlines. The media creates their headlines based on gematria. Again, gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. Trump calls out to gun owners. This headline has gematria of 101. Just like the word assassin. And all year, they've been doing this predictive programming, this foreshadowing and assassination of Donald Trump. They've been comparing him to George Wallace, who was assassinated 44 years ago. The word kill equals 44. A lot of presidents, a lot of people have been assassinated in this world by that number 44, the last president to die in office. JFK, he was the 35th president. Catholic equals 35, the only Catholic president. He was also the 44th term president. He was murdered in the middle of Dealey Plaza, named after a 33rd degree Freemason on 11/22/63. What's interesting about the year 63 is that if you add every number up to 63, it sums to 2016. So we have assassin coded into the headlines. Down here they emphasize Second Amendment people, and Second Amendment people in gematria also sums to 101, just like assassin, just like Trump calls out gun owners. When JFK was assassinated, he was shot from the address 411 Elm Street, And I want to tell you why this is so interesting. 411 Elm Street. I don't mean to write out 411 Elm Street. Whoops. I mean to write out the word assassin. Assassin in Jewish gematria sums to 411. In simple English gematria, 101, just as we talked about. JFK was murdered on the first day of Sagittarius. And if I can remember how to spell Sagittarius correctly, Sagittarius, there it is, gematria of 144. This number is very much connected to political assassinations. The first president to die in office was William Henry Harrison. He died 1 month into his term on April 4th. April 4th sums to 144. If you write out the number 44, it also sums to 144. People die by these numbers again and again. Bobby Kennedy, the brother of JFK, died at 1:44 in the morning. This number connects to Obama, the 44th president, in regards to a film or a TV show that came out with predictive programming about the assassination of Kennedy from 411 Elm Street. Obama was born August 4th, 1961. On Christmas Day, 1961, if you count the full span of days, Christmas Day, 1961, on the Andy Griffith Show, an episode debuted about a bootlegging family. Remember, Kennedy's a bootlegging family. Kennedy equals 33 in gematria. Bootlegging, prohibition ended in 33. Anyhow, in that episode, a bootlegging family gets busted at the address 411 Elm Street. JFK would end up getting assassinated 411 Elm Street less than 2 years later, November 22nd. This episode came out Christmas Day, exactly 144 days after the 44th president was born. Barack Hussein Obama was elected the 44th president 44 years after the Civil Rights Act. Just for a little more quick gematria in case you're new here, Barack Hussein Obama sums to 64. So does civil rights. The Civil Rights Act happened in 64. Obama elected the 44th president 44 years later. The face of the Civil Rights Act was Martin Luther King Jr., assassinated April 4th. In 64, Muhammad Ali, a major civil rights figure. I'll tell you something about Muhammad Ali real quick. He became boxing champion in Miami Beach in 64. Miami Beach equals 64, boxer 64, civil rights. He became a face of the civil rights movement. Muhammad Ali, this year, when he died, early in the day, the Miami Marlins let it slip that he died hours before anyone else reported it, before the media had wind of it. On the 44-year anniversary of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr., that was the year 2008, the year Obama was elected president. On that day, they had Muhammad Ali throw out the first pitch. 44-year anniversary, 4-4. I'm telling you, all this stuff is ritual. What we are living is all planned out long in advance. Obama might have been born to be as president. I want to show you something else about his name. Barack Hussein Obama, 163. That thing, that phrase on Donald Trump's hat, make America great again, 163. This number is the 38th prime number. 163 is the 38th prime. Death equals 38. There's a major parallel between Trump and Obama and 44. At the beginning of Obama's term, Donald Trump made the birther movement famous, questioning if Obama was really a citizen, if he had a fake birth certificate. Remember, Obama ran on hope. Obama is really only the 43rd person to be president, meaning that Donald Trump is running to be the 44th person. So is Hillary Clinton. You know what Hillary's maiden name is? Hillary Rodham, which has this gematria of 144. The reason Obama's the 43rd president is because Grover Cleveland counted as 22 and 24. So ever since number 24, the count's been off by one with the person. 24th president, 23rd person, 25th president, 24th person, all the way up to Obama. The reason it's so interesting that Obama is the 43rd person is because he has these connections to Lincoln, who was born on the 43rd day of the year. Civil War equals 43, Charleston 43, Obama the 43rd person to be president from the land of Lincoln. When he became president, he gave his acceptance speech at Grant Park, Obama did, Grant Park 43. The date of acceptance, 11/4/2008, 11 plus 4 plus 20 plus 8, 43. 43rd person on a date with 43 numerology, given his acceptance speech in a 43 location with the tributes to Lincoln, born on the 43rd day of the year. And you think about what they've done to us in the time of Obama. They've given us all this divisive media trying to divide people among race, something we haven't seen for decades on television. It's been rampant in the time of Obama. And none of this is by accident. It's because we're living out a planned agenda that's about divide and conquer and ruling over us with tyranny, lies, deceit, hate, intimidation. So anyway, this is what it's all about. This is what all this coding is. This is what Donald Trump Make America Great Again is. It's all part of a very sick joke. I should mention that the word change has gematria of 38. Obama ran on hope and change, 44 and 38, kill and death. The other thing about this headline coming today, the date numerology, September 8th, it's August 9th, 2016, date with 33 numerology. When you talk about the Second Amendment, when you talk about guns, you talk about the NRA. NRA equals 33. Newtown has gematria of 33. That Sandy Hook school shooting, which was a hoax, across the street from the nation's second biggest gun lobby. Ever since that shooting and all these other shootings that have come with it, gun and ammunition sales have just climbed to record and record heights. And the people who do these shootings, they know that's the case. Hillary Clinton's never said she's against the Second Amendment. What she said is she's going to tax people based on the amount of guns they own, and she's going to require mandatory gun owner insurance. You pay more insurance the more guns you own. So Hillary Clinton's policies are going to bring in taxes based on all these recent gun sales in a major way. This is all part of an agenda. You know, Donald Trump just always talking nonsense, talking about how she's anti-Second Amendment when that's not the case. She's just all about more and more legislation and legal fees like government is. So anyway, it's August 9th, 9/8 as it's commonly written. It's 13 days until August 22nd, and for 3 months I've said we got to be looking at this date, August 22nd. It might be the date we see an assassination or an assassination attempt story by the numbers on Donald Trump. September 8th is a lot like 98. The word prophet equals 98. The gematria of prophecy is 666, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because there's something called the Illuminati card game. The Illuminati is based on the 13 families that started the Bavarian Illuminati. There's symbolisms all over our dollar bills, the Bavarian Illuminati. If you add up all the denominations of our bill, 1 plus 2 plus 5 plus 10 plus 20 plus 50 plus 100, it sums to 188. Bavarian Illuminati equals 188, began with 13 families. This story coming 13 days before August 22nd doesn't necessarily mean anything's going to happen, but I'm just reminding you what all we've been paying attention to all year. At the beginning of the year, I was talking about the narratives between Trump, Reagan, John Hinckley. In recent weeks, we got a story about the release of John Hinckley, who supposedly shot Reagan. That was a hoax by the numbers. That's what goes on in this nation. Hoax stories, and then political agenda, legislation out of it. Anyway, this seems very suspicious. The story about John Hinckley getting released came out with all this assassination foreshadowing. The other thing we've been looking at all year is this right here, this Illuminati card game. Remember, Illuminati, 13 families. This story 13 days before August 22nd. On the back of this card that's about assassination from the Illuminati card game that came out in 1982, you see this license plate, 235666. August 22nd, 2016 will be the 235th day of the year. Bill Clinton's biological father was murdered by these numbers, these exact same numbers. We're talking about a political race now with Hillary Clinton. If you've never seen my work on the death of Bill Clinton's biological father, that's a prime example of Born to Be and whatever mysteries are going on behind the scenes of creating these Manchurian politicians, which Bill Clinton was, which Hillary Clinton is, which Donald Trump's pretending to be. Anyhow, 235 is in focus. These numbers have also been riddled in news stories. That's why I was saying look at May 23rd earlier this year. Now August 22nd, the next date of focus. And then 666 is the Jewish number of prophecy. The prophecy code is what these madmen who script stories by the news go by. Revelation's the book of prophecy. It makes the number 666 infamous. In Jewish gematria, 666 sums to prophecy. And with regards to August 22nd, that's also a date that can be written 22/8. Death has gematria of that. So does United States of America, a nation that runs on war, killing, death. Fitting name for what the nation's all about. Death in Jewish gematria also sums to 118. This year's election's on November 8th, 11/8. Lincoln was assassinated after being reelected November 8th by the numbers. The exact same numbers we're talking about. He was shot on April 14th, 14/4. Abraham equals 44. First political assassination. Honest Abe equals 44. Shot by an actor in a theater, let us not forget. So anyhow, another day of Donald Trump headlines by the numbers. You might notice in the top corner, the other story is Olympic diving pool turns green. Today has 33 numerology. Green in Jewish gematria sums to 137, which is the 33rd prime number. 137, the 33rd prime number. Before we go, something just jumped into my head that I completely forgot about. See if I can pull this up real fast for you. Shoot, maybe it's not there. Let me find this for you. Bear with me a second. A fellow subscriber caught something in the movie Suicide Squad. I want to write for you or read for you what they wrote for me. It talks about it's regarded to August 22nd, which we just talked about. So this person right here, thank you, Martin, wrote this. He's talking about the movie Suicide Squad. Early in the movie, they play cameos for each crook they have chosen to aid in their mission. The first one they show is actor Will Smith's character, Deadshot. He appears to be assassinating a public figure or man of significant importance due to all the bodyguards around this man. When the man gets out of the car with said bodyguards, I noticed the license plate on the car started with 822. Deadshot assassinating a person who gets out of a car with an 822 on license plate. Will Smith, Deadshot, 822. Will Smith in gematria, you guys, sums to 44. The kill number, again, Trump trying to become the 44th president, Obama the 44th president. This number all over the history of political assassinations and presidential deaths, even those running for presidency, from George Wallace to Bobby Kennedy. So anyway, I just remind him that in English gematria, authority equals 822, so does Washington, D.C., a lot like this August 22nd date. But if you've seen that movie Suicide Squad, this is the kind of predictive programming that they might very well be putting before our eyes. Now, does it mean that a death's going to happen on August 22nd? No, it doesn't. As I just showed, the code also connects to authority, Washington, D.C. It might be a date still to come. A lot of people are starting to ask me about the date October 4th, 2016. That's a date with 50 numerology. America equals 50. Donald equals 50. 10-4. October's the only month with 33 gematria, but with regards to the 10-4, remember, the United States of America was established July 4th, 1776, a date with 104 numerology. The word Jerusalem in gematria sums to 104. It has a USA right in the middle. Jerusalem, USA. The United States of America was established by this nation of Masons and Zionists, who I am exposing, who operate by this code, and have since this nation was established. From the day it was created up to the present, everything's been run by the numbers. They treat the world as a stage. This is how they control we the people. That's what it's all about, controlling us by the numbers, steering us along on their path of agenda. And their path of agenda has included bringing about the nation of Israel where Jerusalem is. The United States of America was created to help bring about what's going on in the world. We're like the military might of the Illuminati, which is really just the Freemasons and Zionist banker tyrants in high places. So this video is longer than I wanted it to be. Until next time, true seekers.